Welcome back to Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age, and I see exactly what I need to do right now. That sounds weird, but anyway. This Viera here is simply labeled Viera. She appears after you've reached Jahara for the first time. And she's the center of a side quest. My heart yearned to find a soulmate. Guess what? It's an NPC matchmaking side quest. Every RPG has to have at least one of these, it feels like. So, she's gonna head out into town. I guess we better follow her. Okay, so... I think it's... So this guy, Love-Struck Man, I may have mistaken the target of his affections earlier. East End. Okay, I guess we need to check out that part of town next. Oh, we're actually in East End here. I was confusing east with west. So I think she's probably either here or at the tavern. I thought that was going to lead to just something depressing, but no, instead they're just shipping. So I believe once you pass a certain point in the story, then it's 2 in-game hours of dry and 1 in-game hour of rain on the Giza Plains, I think. That way you have access to both states of the Giza Plains, effectively whenever you want to. Yes, who would start a rumor like that? Or, you know, who would start a meme like that? When you think about it, rumors kind of are memes, really. I guess Miguelo's probably has his channels. He's probably found out of what Varn and Pinello have been doing. Actually, now that we've reached a new area... No new hunts available, and also, yes, I forgot to turn this in to the original petitioner, so I'm gonna do that next time we're back at Jahara, but I'm gonna have to walk back there anyway. Okay, yeah, I am a dirty cheater and I looked this up. She's actually in the Gambit shop, which isn't in the East End at all, but, you know, slightly above, let's not make the protagonist's, love interest triangle too complicated here, or we'll have a Final Fantasy VII on our hands. Yeah, the shipping wars in that fandom are just absolutely brutal. Yeah, so much Varn and Pinello shipping in this episode. Oh, okay. Well, I guess she's going to the tavern now. Now, I hate it when you, like, hit up the wrong place first, and then you go to somewhere else, and then it turns out the place you hit up first is the place you need to hit up second. And here she is. Oh, sitting on the balcony railing there. Living on the edge. Again, you know... More shipping hints. So, yeah, at this point, this is where we kind of need to take action and find someone ourselves. And now there are actually 2 people that you can try and set her up with. There's the Love-Struck Man at the entrance, who's the one I think I went with on my first playthrough. And then there's somebody in the Gambit shop, I think, yeah, called Lord Vane. So it's either him or the other guy, and you basically get the same kinds of rewards from both, except if you choose the Love-Struck Man, you get 2 high potions. But if you choose this guy, you just get the Locksley Bow, which you also get from the Love-Struck Man. So it's not really that much of a difference. I kind of want to see what happens if you say this guy. Not exactly sure if this is going to be accepted or rejected. I suppose we'll find out. Your prince awaits, I guess. Okay, she's here now. I mean, you know, I suppose we'll see if this ends up working out or not. I mean, they can always break up if things don't work, I guess. And with that, we get a Locksley Bow. I guess things might work out between these two. I like how you can see, like, the Giza Plains is clearly during the rains now, just from looking at it through Rabanastre, but speaking of which, right here, now that I have Larsa in my party, I probably could go and try and do that, that ringworm hunt now, but it's still probably a little beyond us. I might want to wait just a little bit longer before I come back and do those hunts. I actually forget when Larsa leaves you. Most people try and do as many hunts as possible while he's still here. Also, that Loxley bow, can we use that? Oh, we actually can, and it's better than what she currently has, so I may as well take that. Probably named after the place that Robin Hood comes from, or the place that he's a lord of, I guess. He's often called Robin of Loxley, but anyway, yep, let's go back to Jahara, I think. Does feel like a bit of a waste of a teleport stone to go back to Rabanastre for only one quest, but I don't know, we have access to a lot of those teleport stones as we go through the game. They're obviously way more valuable at this point because now we're venturing out into regions that are very far away from Rabanastre, so saves you a lot of time using those crystals. Which was the... Great, I've forgotten the guy who gave me the hunt. I think he's like somewhere towards the back of like here. Here he is. So basically you just wanted to see what a hunt actually was like, or what kind of person does these kind of quests. You know, we're not truly a great warrior, we're 6 great warriors and 1, in a way, even greater warrior as a guest. Another golden amulet. I believe that's the thing that doubles LP gains, so that's pretty useful. And now that hunt is officially completed. Now, it feels like a bit of a waste to get another Chocobo just to go to the end of the Osmone Plain, but I don't really want to fight any enemies on the way. Chocobos are, like I think I said before, if you just want to get from point A to point B without fighting anything, they're your best bet. Oh, hey, Balthea's riding one now.
I guess this one was a success.
Wow, I'm impressed, Bon.
I got a good feeling.
An alliance between Dalmasca and the Empire.
Reason tells me 'tis the only course. We must avoid a wasting war with the Empire at all cost. Yet I fear I could not bear the shame, had I but the strength.
A shame perhaps for me and for you. But for Dalmasca, 'tis hope.
And you can just accept this, can you?
After Vane's ruse, I had abandoned hope for honor. Yet, never did I forget my knightly vows. If I could protect but one person from war's horror, then I would bear any shame. I would bear it proudly. I could not defend my home. What is shame to me?
My people hate the Empire. They will not accept this.
There is hope.
Right?
Don't encourage
Hope for a future where we can
Not
join
that bad,
hands
am I?
I
as
got a
brothers.
good feeling.
Larsa, please. This is serious.
I'm sorry.
Don't be Larsa. Somebody's got to put him in his place.
You know, I had a feeling we'd cut to judges. Haven't seen these two yet.
The Senate may play at intrigue, but Lord Vane is not one to be brought down easily. The entire military waits upon his orders, from the War Council down to the rank and file. What better blade than he to strike down the enemies of the Empire?
Your honor reminds me of Zect 2 years since. He, too, put his trust in Lord Vane's strength, and what became of him? Gone without a trace since Nabudis.
I will not hear you malign Judge Zect. He was a noble warrior. Or do you think his trust in Lord Vane ill-placed?
Vane took 2 of his own brothers' lives. He is ruthless beyond contempt.
Ruthless, you say? Would he were more so. He gives traitors no quarter, be they of his own blood. How fitting for one who would bear the burden of empire.
But could we bear him? Zagabath, what of you? Surely you do not believe his brothers were traitors?
So found His Excellency Lord Gramis, you would do well to mind your tongue, Drace. That matter is long past.
Your Honors, a summons. Lord Vane has arrived at the palace.
We come at once.
Lord Larsa has left for Baromises. He hopes to enlist the aid of the Grand Kiltius in stopping the insurgents. I doubt this will be enough to deter Ondor, but even a slight hindrance to his operations would be welcome. This will delay the Rosarian invasion, and we will have bought much-needed time to shore up our defenses.
Just as His Excellency had hoped.
No matter the result, I'm pleased with the young lord's progress. I can already see the stunned faces of those mud-witted senators. The fools think a child emperor's strings easy to pull from the shadows. But they will find that Lord Larsa is no puppet.
Yes, the senators would be most pleased with a puppet for an emperor. Recall, Drace, how the Senate fears and despises Lord Vane's ability. When they realize the truth, that Lord Larsa is no docile lamb to be shepherded, they will bare their teeth and devour him.
You're right. I shall speak on this matter with His Excellency at once. Gabranth, it falls to us to protect Lord Larsa. Are we agreed?
Aye.
So, Larsa is a child heir to an empire who the senators hope will be easier to manipulate, but is actually way smarter than they realize. Yeah, that reminds me so much of Sanaki from Path of Radiance. It's ridiculous. And that's definitely a good thing, by the way. I love Sanaki, and in a way, Larsa's kind of like a male version of her. Forgot about all those cutscenes, but now we're officially entering the Golmore jungle. Kind of a foreboding place, and there are a lot of these bridges here. It actually reminds me, I've been to a lot of, like, real-life forests around where I live. Not around where I live, but, like, you know, in Australia, in certain parts of Australia. That's, oh boy. I think these are of the Coeurl family, and I really do not like Coeurls. They love to inflict really bad status on you, but anyway. Yeah, like, a lot of sort of foresty areas that have bridges that are pretty cool like that. Anyway, we have, yeah, these things. Weak to ice, so, well, Balthier's bullets aren't going to be effective against them, but they aren't going to be ineffective either. Let's not be stupid with gambits again. They sort of pour at you. Okay, Fran's going for dark here. I think in this situation, wind is probably going to do more. This music's already pretty nice. I also have Fire. I have updated all of my old gambits that use fire to now use Fire. Yeah, I think wind is doing slightly more than dark. And I swapped a few people around in the party just because, actually, you know what? It actually fits to be using Fran in this area. Oh, you guys have Shell. Maybe I'll just use regular attacks. I don't really want to waste a spell on you. So, what I was saying before, well, not saying before. So, I laughed in that cutscene, and you might be wondering why. So, Van saying I got a good feeling there is actually a reference to a meme from Final Fantasy Tactics, the original translation. How much does Fire do? Around, like, 580. Let's see how much damage a regular attack from. Well, I mean, I'll have to wait for the next enemy, because that one's dead, but, considering how strong Fran's bow is... Okay, she's doing about 400. So Fire does seem like it hits a little bit harder. I've got Fran's gambits to focus on using fire if the enemy is vulnerable to it. And yeah, this is a forest of many winding paths. A lot of thin bridges over, well, over areas we can't really explore. But anyway, so yeah, it's a meme from the original translation of Final Fantasy Tactics. What the heck are those? Oh no! I forgot they showed up here for the first time. I guess I'll arrow them because they're a big clump of enemies weak to wind. But I don't want to get too close to those things. I didn't quite notice them when they were rearing up like that, but Malboros, I'm sorry to have to interrupt my tangent, but I need to talk about Malboros because they are evil. If you have played any Final Fantasy games, yep, there's the breath. Malboros, the gimmick of Malboros is they inflict a ton of horrible status ailments with their breath attacks. Typically, the attacks called bad breath. Do I have enough remedy laws? I don't know how many remedy law licenses Larsa has on him, but I guess I can try. Well, his remedies cure slow, but not sleep. That's kind of weird. I assume they cure sleep first and foremost. Sorry, Vaughn. That actually did more damage than I expected. If you attack Barsh to wake him up. Ow, okay, well that was a crit. But at least Larsa's curing. Anyway though, Malboros, yeah, they are some of the, like, generally speaking, they're often some of the worst, like, enemies to fight in any Final Fantasy game. They are just straight up, like, awful. Especially, like, the late game Malboros, or the Great Malboros, as they're often called. I know there's one in, like, one of the late game, I think in the Calmlands in FF10, there's a really bad Malboro there that just, like, loves to inflict, like... Sometimes their bad breath is effectively an automatic game over, it's that bad. Like, it inflicts Berserk, Confuse, and, like, all the status ailments that take away control onto your whole party, and no one can cure it before you all die. Yeah, it basically just party wipes you. These Malboros are heavily defanged Malboros, by the way. There are later Malboros that are far, far worse. So, okay, in terms of this area, I forget... So I know that there is an area of this place that, like, you kind of can access midway through the jungle. I don't know if we're forced to go there right now. I also know that there is, like, an optional exit to the jungle that leads to an area that's extremely dangerous at this point, but you can actually cut through that area to skip this area's boss on the first visit. It's interesting that way. You have kind of options like that. Gargoyles. Ah, okay. Well, there goes Fran's magic casting abilities. Kind of surprised that we're, like, it's taken us, like, quite a while. We still don't really have Esuna, like a status curing spell. Well, at least Larsa has Vox. And yeah, speaking of status, you may notice that the theme of this area is enemies inflicting status ailments. That's the theme of the boss of this area too. Oh boy, we'll get there when we get there. There's a reason why a lot of players risk cutting through the horrifying late game area just to skip that boss. There's a reason. I'm looking forward to that fight. Like, that's why I was kind of looking forward to getting to the Golmore jungle, because I remember it being kind of, I mean, honestly, I remember it being a bit more interesting looking than this. It's really just a bunch of bridges and sort of drab, dark area. I mean, it's kind of nice and foreboding, like, the aesthetic to it, but I forgot how horrifying the status ailment, like, enemies were in this place. So, yeah. That's a bit of a problem. But, I guess I can now go back to my topic before about the meme thing. So, the original translation of Final Fantasy Tactics, was something special. And, like, I don't know what it was, they were commenting on quests or something, but party members or just, like, random characters would randomly chime in with comments like, "I got a good feeling," or "This is the way." And, like, it's just kind of, it became like a running gag. And another one of the running gags that people like to talk about in that game is little money. Basically, like, someone's talking about how, like, people are poor and have little money, but For some reason, the way the text boxes work, they're kind of coded badly, so, the words just come out really, really slowly, and it just comes out as little money. And I don't know if they reference that in this, but I know they reference I got a good feeling in that scene. But in a way, like, it's kind of, I know that, like, these days meme references in games are often taken very, very badly. Like, 2006 was about the era where meme references in games were not really, like, they didn't bother people very much. And honestly, that's probably because at the time we were young enough that we were actually part of the meme generation back then. Oh, I just noticed there's an exclamation mark, like, a little further down the road there, and it looks like it's some kind of barrier. Oh, firstly, though, there's a Marlboro there, and that means it has to die. No, they're sneaky the way they rear up like that and make me not realize they're Marlboros until it's too late. Somebody's attacking you. That's another Marlboro! Kill it! Uh-oh, there it goes, cawing breath. Yeah, you see Sleep and Slow now, but it gets so much worse later, trust me. But as I was saying with that meme reference, it's kind of like, you know, it's subtle enough that you wouldn't really even know it was a meme reference. It kind of blends seamlessly into the dialogue and is kind of naturally the kind of thing, you know, kids would, like, it's just a couple of kids playing around, basically. And yeah, it looks like we have a barricade here, so we can't proceed that way yet. It doesn't, like, jump out to you, obviously, as if to say, this is totally a meme reference. Pay attention to it. It is funny. Which is kind of what, like, what annoys people about a lot of meme references in some translations nowadays. There's, like, another meme reference I can talk about. Oh. Oh yeah, I do remember that some aspects of the... And it looks like there's another barricade down here, so we can't get through here either. But yeah, there are some parts of this jungle that are meant to be explored later on in the game. It really says something that the part that we're, like, you know, that's the milder path is the one with the Marlboros on it, but yeah, I hate these things so much. Yeah. They're, like, while they themselves at this point may not be that horrifying, their brethren later on in the game certainly are. Just wondering whether I think I'll switch over Fran's gambits to be, like, targeting foes that are weak to wind. And I'll turn off her any protects gambit. Yeah, arrow's doing more than firer. Nice drain there, Penelo. Always best to kill these things very quickly, because otherwise, you know, they use the breath on you. Mage's Hat. Yeah, I guess that Mage's Habit that we found earlier was meant to be for this point in the game. That explains why its defense is so high. Yeah, it's a little bit better magic resist, but yeah. See, I'm not really familiar with Final Fantasy Tactics very much. A lot of people have encouraged me to check it out. I have like a relative who kind of grew up with Final Fantasy Tactics, and it's kind of interesting because they're just getting into Fire Emblem for the first time, so we had a bit of an interesting conversation on, okay, this way's block 2, on sort of Fire Emblem versus Final Fantasy Tactics as someone who grew up with one and as someone who grew up with the other, like what the sort of differences are.
What is it?
The jungle denies us our passage.
What have we done?
We? No. I.
What's that mean? How are we supposed to get through that?
Making an appearance?
Come on, I'm talking over here.
I thought you'd left for good.
Hey!
Our choices are few.
Fran? Balthier!
This is as much for you as it is me.
Oh?
You are ill at ease. The Nethicite troubles you. You've let your eyes betray your heart.
Right.
What are you doing?
Soon you will learn.
Whoa.
We go to seek aid of the Mjrn who dwell ahead.
I bet they'll be glad to see you after so long.
I am unwelcome, an unsought guest in their wood.
So we're finding out more about Fran here. Tree ants. Huh. Oh, they're passive. Well, you know, I'll just kill them anyway. I guess. I'll go for arrow. Yeah, it kind of makes sense for a lot of things in these forests to be earth aligned, so weak to wind. You'd think things in the forest would more be weak to fire, but logic doesn't work that way in the Final Fantasy universe a lot of the time. And I like how Balthier and Fran have their own kind of, you know, issues, because they've known each other for a lot longer than the rest of the party have, and he clearly knows what's up, and she knows him well enough to realize when he's troubled. Again, it's probably part of why I'm more on board with that ship than I am with Balthier and Ash. So yes, we are forced to come here.
In the village ahead, you will find her, Mjrn. Bring her to me. She will know why you call her.
Oh, I do remember this song too. And so we have the obligatory hidden elf village. Eruyt Village, or however you pronounce this. Well, I suppose we can take a map. Yeah, I called the Mjrn Rabbit Elves for a reason. This place is like... Wow, when did the Lord of the Rings movies come out? Because this place looks so much like Lothlorien, it's ridiculous. Oh hey, it's the ones we freed back there. So these guys have been following us the entire time, we just didn't notice. Kind of more here to sell than to buy. Yeah, Coeurl pelts. Ugh. Yeah, Coeurls get way worse later on in the game. Just like Marlboros, but Marlboros are already pretty bad here. Matching reds. Red cap and matching armor. Okay, may as well take this. Red cap and Brigadine. I think those are light armor that we need some later licenses for. We already have a Demon's Bane. And Fran already has a better bow. Now we can buy Beetlejuice now. And I was waiting for a better crossbow, but... Wow, that's a big increase in attack power, but Penelo doesn't even have the license for that yet. Crossbows 2. Storm Staff. Ironically, I don't think that's actually wind, although it could be lightning. Yes, it increases the lightning elements. That'll be... Actually, I will need that eventually. I kind of rather have this for the time being, though. I can probably sell some older weapons in order to get that. Like, for example, this longbow that I don't need anymore. I technically don't even need that anymore, either. Yeah, I'm gonna grab that Storm Staff for later. It's... Let's just say I know there's a boss coming up at the end of this big quest that is gonna be weak to electricity. Better gun on Balthier. Also... Oh, you can use the red cap, but it is lower speed. Better vitality, though. And the Brigadine, also worse vitality, but slightly better defense and a bit better HP. I guess I'll go with that. And you know what, just for a bit of variety, I'm going to switch back over to Katanas on Varn. I also have a Mjrn now. Yeah, see, on hit protect, you're supposed to hit your own allies with this. But you get the protect spell quite early. So not really sure how useful that is. They do increase evasion by quite a bit. Okay, let's grab crossbows 2 on Penelo so she can get a big attack power increase. while I'm here, I guess battle lore. Crossbows, I've also found out, are the fastest ranged weapon in terms of action time. They make up for it by not really having many other special effects to them. They don't boost damage based on stats besides strength, they don't pierce defense, and they don't really have a lot of particularly, like, amazing ammo from what I remember. As you can see, Fran stays behind here. Kind of more of a plot justification why we can only control Varn during town segments. Most of these people aren't able to be talked to. Oh yeah, I remember them having a very interesting speaking style as well. Yeah, basically all of them are like, yeah, grr, outsider, we know like you. Yep. Yes, you would not understand, you outsider, blah blah blah. Okay, we need to find her, so I guess we just have to keep walking through this village until we do. I don't think this place has a hunt board, so we can't see if there are any new jobs available. Forget if you actually do need to talk to that elder at any point. The Wood Warders. Okay, those are probably like the, you know, the warriors of this place. Kind of people who'd probably be the ones to be requesting hunts. No, we didn't come to visit misfortune, we just came to find a way to get through this forest. So essentially nobody in this village likes us. Okay, more speaking in metaphors, but I guess I can kind of get a bit of a handle on what you're trying to say. Something along the lines of, she has many talents, but she is angsty. That's my Cliff Notes version. Thane of the Path. I do remember some of these area names. Yeah, you know, at this point, I think it's probably, Salve Apprentice. I thought for a second that said Slave Apprentice, and I got a little bit disturbed. But yeah, salves are, you know, making medicine. Penelope clearly likes it here, but she should be careful. The feeling is very much not mutual.
Hey, Mjrn lives here, doesn't she? We're here to see her.
You will leave at once. It is not allowed for humans to walk on these grounds.
We'll go as soon as we've seen Mjrn.
If you can find her.
We're not leaving until you let us see her. Fine then. We'll look for her ourselves.
Ah.
I've heard the voice of the wood. She says Mjrn is not in the village. Hjote, where has she gone?
Why do you ask? The wood tells us where she has gone. Or can you not hear her? You cannot. Your ears are dull from hearing their harsh speech, I think. Viera who have abandoned the wood are Viera no longer. Mjrn too has left her embrace.
And you forsake them in turn?
It is the will of the village. Viera must live always with the wood. So is the green word, and so is our law.
We'll let you worry about keeping your laws. Just do us a favor and stay out of our way. We'll find her ourselves.
Our sister has left the wood and gone west. She wanders warrens among men who hide themselves in clothes of cold iron. Thus to me has the wood spoken.
The Viera may begin as part of the wood, but the wood is not the only end we may choose.
The same words I heard 50 years ago.
Not really much else for us around here. So, clothes of iron, that seems like it means the Imperials, but west is the exact opposite of the direction we're supposed to be going. So that doesn't really bode well for our progress towards our ultimate goal. And this is another part of the game that I don't really remember a lot of. I'm kind of hazy on this. Like, I remember this place. I remember the Viera here, and I remember Fran being exiled, and vaguely that subplot, but I don't really remember much about Mjrn or what we need her for, or where we end up finding her. So this is going to be interesting. Like, I do admit, I actually have forgotten a lot of the sort of minor character interactions in this game.
Not bad, Fran. Didn't think we'd get any information out of that one. So then, what was she saying about men in a warren?
The Henne magicite mines. Maybe that's what she meant. They lie in Bangkor, south of the Osmoan Plain. The entire region is a colony of the Arcadian Empire. There would be soldiers.
Is that a problem? Let's move.
Fran.
Yes?
I was wondering what Yote said, you know? About how you said the same thing 50 years ago?
Your point?
How old were you again?
Nice fun.
Surprisingly rude.
Try to grow up, please.
That awkward silence was amazing. Vaughn does make for good comic relief sometimes. So, I actually never I thought the Henne mines were optional. Osmoan Plain, Henne mines. Probably best to warp using this crystal, because otherwise we'd have to go past all of the Malboros again.